I don't want to put you on the spot, but help me out. What would you expect to find in the stomach, free lorazepam, as a result 4 hours later?
8 milligrams, I'm sorry? Or
8 milligrams.
8 milligrams of lorazepam, I can get close to that number. You would expect to find, in terms of the free lorazepam, Lou Shiner said never do math in front of an audience. I believe it's going to be about 125th of a tablet, but I would always love to check this with my computer, and I can do that if you'd like me to. But I believe it's on that order.
Well, let's see if we can. I was an English major, okay, so you're gonna have to help us, all right? Let's start. Let's see if this is the process you would go through at least, okay? Mm-hmm. We start with 8 milligrams, okay, in this example, and you're saying that 22 minutes later it would be 4,
right?
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, that is correct.
Another 22 minutes, we're at 2.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Another 22 minutes, and I'm not going to belabor this, but and it's
no, this is perfect. This is exactly the way to do it.
This is
nature's shadow though over the
yeah.
exhibit.
Let me see if I can. That's still not good, but it's as good as I. It's like basically you just keep having it until ultimately you would not be surprised to expect in 4 hours a very, very, very small amount of free lorazepam in the stomach.
That is correct.
Now, 2 hours.
Do you want that marked as triple mic?
Okay, Judge. I'm going to. Yes. I do. I'm going to go and add to this though, if that's.
Triple mic.
Now, it's the same as true of 16 milligrams of oral lorazepam.
Yes, at 16 milligrams, you would just double all of the numbers all the way down.
And really, the only difference between 16 milligrams and 8 milligrams in the whole analysis is 22 minutes.
Correct.
Just an additional 22 minutes would equate for the same number as 8 and 16 in the stomach.
Correct.
One of the things that you said. Now let us go further than that, and what I want to talk about is what you did or did not do with regard to lorazepam in this particular case. I know that you worked backwards and gave us that one hypothetical. We've addressed that, okay? Did you at any point take the dose of lorazepam that was found in the femoral blood, or any dose of lorazepam, and work forwards to the concentration? Let me rephrase the question. I can see you're confused. When you talk about concentration, you're not talking just about blood concentration, right?
In the case of lorazepam, I just looked at blood concentration.
But there are other concentrations. Well, there's
tissues and urine. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes. Stomach concentration,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And part of what you do with pharmacokinetics is look at many different types of concentrations.
That's correct.
Okay. What would you, based on the analysis that you made, of the amount we know that Greenblatt in doing his studies determined that 2 milligrams lorazepam reaches a peak concentration of between 90 to 120 minutes, something like that?
Yes.
Okay. Can you explain to us what that means, peak concentration?
Yes. There are two things going on simultaneously. This is following oral dose, I'm assuming.
Of course.
Following oral dose, there are two things going on. You have drug going in to the system from the stomach, and you also have the liver removing drug, and the drug also moving into body tissues. So drug is going in from the stomach, and drug is also being removed from the plasma, from the blood, by the liver or by distribution into tissues. And those two processes, in a sense, play off against each other. Initially, there's no drug being removed because there is no drug. It's just going in. Once there's a fairly high concentration, then the rate at which drug is removed is faster. The net effect of those two processes is that when you take a pill, initially the concentrations will rise. They'll reach a peak. And after the peak, the rate of drug removal is faster than the rate of drug going in. And then the levels fall. So as long as the rate of drug going into the body, into the blood from the stomach, is faster than the rate that the drug is being removed, as long as it's faster, the levels are increasing. But once it's being removed faster than it's going in, at that point the levels start to fall. It's the relative rate of going in and coming out that determines, are you on the way up, are you at the peak, or are you at the fall. At the peak, the rate of drug going in exactly matches the rate of drug going out. And that's why it's the peak. So 2 minutes, so about 2 hours is where the rate of drug going in from the stomach exactly matches the rate at which drug is being removed from the plasma.
And let me show you this. I'm going back to I've added some things. What I've done is I've gone essentially 2 hours into the future. And we see we've got about 0.125.
You know, it's very, very difficult to see. Deputy Jones, can you help out?
Is-
I don't know why it's been plotted that way.
You know what? It's the it's like sort of mirroring back on us. Maybe if we turn down the brightness. Let me see. Give me a white paper. Give me a white sheet. Is there anything in the back of that? Okay, thanks. Let me redo this, all right, so we can see it. See, it's not. I don't know if it's going to be better, Judge. What we have. I'm going to make this. Can I make this MMM1? Is that possible? What?
Sure.
I mean, I want to get kind of to the
And I
point.
think, I'm trying to think if you should use a marker as opposed to
Yeah.
just a regular pen. It's tough to see it. So
What we've got is 125.
this is MMM sub 1.
At about 2 hours in the stomach. I'm estimating, obviously, because 22 minutes over 6 half-lives is not going to be exactly 2 hours. Is that right?
I would want to actually verify the math myself, but that if you can, I actually could read your other one if you would be so kind as to put it back. Let me take a look.
How'd I do?
I think you did quite nicely. I would say yes, 2 hours and it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 2 hours and 12 minutes. So it's basically 2¼ hours.
All right, and 0.125 in the stomach would equate to a small percentage of 1 pill of lorazepam. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. But you would be at peak concentration at that point. Or you would be at, lorazepam would be at its peak in the blood.
Correct.
One of the things you said in your testimony was that you could not discount the possibility that Michael Jackson woke up, reached up, and turned on or turned off the limiter on the IV site. Is that right?
Correct.
You can also not discount the possibility that Michael Jackson swallowed lorazepam during the morning either.
I need more information about when to answer that question.
Well, the question is, can you discount that possibility?
The levels of lorazepam proper push that time to 8 o'clock in the morning. And And based upon lorazepam in the stomach, I can't discount the possibility of swallowing the hypothetical. First, we're talking. My hypothetical is based upon what was proposed, which was 16 milligrams. So I can't get the math to support swallowing 16 milligrams prior to 8 o'clock in the morning.
But you can envision that math. You can envision that possibility.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, based on the stomach levels, that is correct.
All right. Did you, in your analysis, ever determine the concentration of lorazepam in the urine? Did you ever make those numbers available to Mr. Walgren?
Yes, I did.
And that concentration came from analysis that was done by the coroner's office?
The concentration that I used was based on the analysis provided by Pacific Toxicology.
This is the defense.
This is based upon your analysis, yes, sir.
All right. Did you ever make any independent analysis of the lorazepam concentration in the urine?
I don't run an assay lab. I don't have a facility to measure urine, and it would be kind of strange to do so.
Well, actually, you made a request to the coroner's office to, I believe your testimony was, to run the metabolite of lorazepam in blood and all the blood samples. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, so you could
yes, I have made that.
Okay.
I did make that request of the coroner that we actually know the details. Yes.
Right. I realize you don't personally go run the gas chromatograph. Okay. Did you do that for the urine with the coroner in this case?
My request was for the stomach contents. Actually, that was the specific request, was to break down what Pacific Toxicology had measured in the stomach, which was both the lorazepam plus lorazepam glucuronide. My request was to differentiate the two species, to know not just what the metabolite, lorazepam glucuronide plus lorazepam was, but they're actually two separate molecules, and I wanted to know the amount of each one. So that was the request. The request that I made was specifically to know what was in the stomach for the lorazepam and the lorazepam glucuronide.
All right. And was there any analysis done of the urine? Did you do any calculations based on the urine that you had to determine whether or not the concentrations reflected the amounts of lorazepam that had been either orally ingested or administered through an IV?
Yes, I have looked at the urine concentrations from Pacific Toxicology. If you don't mind, I would like to actually know whether the coroner measured the urine lorazepam glucuronide. I would have to look at my notes to see if that was actually measured by the coroner. I don't recall sitting at this moment.
Okay. Do you have your notes handy, or do you have to go to your laptop to do that?
I can actually just pull them out and look at them.
Okay. Please.
I'm not hiding back here. Thank you. I have my notes, including my notes of the analysis by the coroner. I appreciate the moment to find that.
I appreciate you looking.
Glad to.
And you have discovered that they did not do that analysis.
That is correct. They did not look at the urine lorazepam. So the only number that I have for that was measured at your request by Pacific Toxicology.
Okay. And I take it, based on those numbers, you have done an analysis and gone backwards to determine possible dosing regimens as a result?